Hey ho, that's how things go. Hey, how's it going? And welcome to Whisky Wins with me, Stuart. Today we've got a Balmenach from Rare Find. It's 10-year-old. It was bottled for the Royal Mile Whiskey to celebrate certain staff anniversaries at working at Royal Mile Whiskies. So this one was bottled for Sandy Alexander, who had over 2 decades, or has over 2 decades working at Royal Mile Whiskies. He grew up next to the distillery, and I think his family maybe worked in the distillery for quite some time as well. So he's got some ties to Balmenach, and that's why he's chosen this. It's a limited release. I'm trying to see if there was telling us how many bottles. I think there was only about 180 bottles. I could be wrong. There wasn't many bottles of this anyway. It was £54.95. It's bottled at 51.2% ABV, an ex-bourbon cask. And I think that's all I've got to say about it. Balmenach, they have long fermentation, relatively small stills, and they use worm tub. They use worm tubs for their spirits. So yeah, that's I think all I've got on Balmenach. We'll get down to this. We'll see if it's a whiskey win or a whiskey bin. It comes in a box. That's what I've got here. But obviously we're not too bothered about the box. I'll show the bottle so that I've got a thumbnail. But yeah, there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a little bit of kind of char or sediment settled at the bottom of it there. It's quite difficult to see, and I've just disturbed it, so it's all away now. But that's quite cool to see there anyway. So it was distilled in 2011 and bottled in 2021. The nose, the ABV, not really that strong on the nose. It is just over 50%, but there's sponge cake with like a pear jam or a pear kind of compote in the middle, and on top of this sponge cake we're going to say there's like buttercream icing and maybe like fresh slices of kiwi. Quite a nice nose and very specific. I was just trying to tie it all together. There's kiwi, sponge, a sweet vanilla, buttercream icing, and pear. So I was trying to tie that all together, and I got a little bit of ABV there. So I was trying to tie that all together in a nice little bow. I'm not sure if you can hear, but there's roadworks or something, some sort of works. I think maybe not roadworks is the right term. They're putting in new telephone cables and stuff for internet, so I don't know if you can hear anything outside. There's like a little bit of virgin olive oil on the nose with hints of white pepper as well. I think that's all I'm getting on the nose. I've had this before, obviously. It's not one I tend to reach for because it's quite a plain dram, if you will. Nothing too dramatic. But what we'll do is we'll add water in the palate, but not the nose, because I think the nose is pretty well developed as it is. And I'm pretty sure when I've added water before, it's drowned out the nose more than develop it. So we'll see what the palate's like. Yeah, water is definitely needed with this. I remember it. It's strong. It is a really nice mouthfeel though, but it's just very overbearing, and it requires a significant amount of water just to tame it back. But we'll see what the water does now once it settles down a little bit. I'll double check the nose, see if much has changed. No, I mean, I think I got hair in my mouth. I've been playing with the dog. It's pretty much the same, maybe just a little more dim or dimmer. Yeah, dimmer. It's more dull. It's kind of dulled it a little bit, the water. So the palate with the water. Once again, this lovely oily mouthfeel. It's really nice. There's porridge or rolled oats that's kind of reminiscent of porridge, made with maybe cream instead of quite a thick cream, maybe something like double cream or something, instead of using water or milk. So it's quite a creamy, thick, and the addition of pear with this porridge. Quite nice, quite a mouthful, really coats the mouth, quite a pleasant mouthfeel. There's grist there, a real kind of dunnage element, possibly some olive oils to tie with the oily element, and to tie with the virgin olive oil from the nose. But I mean, it's nothing overly attractive, but it's bold. It's a bold hitter, and it's quite simplistic enough to just kind of switch off almost. It's nothing too engaging, I'd say. It's just nice in the palate. That's how I'd probably describe this so far. It's just nice. We'll see what the finish has to offer. The finish, you're still getting a bit of that heat. It's long, it's rich, there's white grapes. It's drying with a kind of oaky wood flavour to it, and the creaminess has subsided and made way for a more kind of spicy element, maybe to tie in with the wood and tie in with the white pepper earlier. So yeah, we'll get down to the review, the rating of this whiskey. There's nothing too, like I said, there's nothing too dramatic about it, so it's nothing offensive, but it's nothing that it's going to turn you off. It's enjoyable for what it is. So if you're new here, how I rate my whiskies is, would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth it? And would I recommend it? If we get 1 out of 3, then it's a whiskey bin, and if we get 2 out of 3, it's a Whisky Win. And these coins, we've still got a few available if you're wanting one, so just hit me up. But anyway, so would I buy it again? I don't think I would. It's maybe too plain and too one-dimensional, might be a little harsh on it, but yeah, a little flat. It's just nothing overly attractive that will draw me to buy another dram or buy another bottle, and that's why I'm struggling to reach for this when it's on the shelf, because there's so many other flavours that are accessible from other whiskies that this just kind of lacks a little. Do I think it's worth it at £55? I think so. I think it's well presented, non-chill filtered, no added colouring, hefty ABV, 51.2, 10-year-old age statement stamped right on there, and it is a nice dram. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing other than just being a little flat. There's nothing actually that wrong with it. And do I think it's worth it? Oh no, I said that. So yeah, I do think it's worth it. And would I recommend it? Yeah, I think I would recommend it. It's worth a try, I reckon. I'm kind of on the fence about would I recommend it, because it's not going to blow your socks off, but I think it's interesting to try a kind of stripped back whiskey that's matured in bourbon, and it's a distillery that's overlooked, so there's that as well. So yeah, I probably would recommend it. I'm on the fence about that, but I reckon for now, and how much I'm kind of maybe not enjoying it seems to be the wrong word, but how much I'm getting on with it, it is nice, and it's easy just to switch off with it, except that you need to add the water. But I think at this moment in time, I'm very on the fence, but I think at this moment in time it is a Whisky Win. So yeah, that's been the review. A little on the fence with this one, but hey ho, that's how these things go sometimes, and that just rhymed a little. Hey ho, that's how things go. Yeah, great, that's going to be my new tagline. So thanks for watching. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Wins. I'll see you later.